The charity founder stood in front of everyone. "You don't earn a place here, you've only used our name," he said. I quietly handed out the emails showing how I had raised every donor and brought in every sponsor. Every head turned. Growing up with a trust fund made me invisible. My parents' charity galas, I was the awkward kid in the corner while they worked the room. At 16, I started volunteering. Not because they asked, they didn't notice. I just wanted to feel useful. I learned donor management, built the email lists, created the social campaigns. By 18, I'd brought in 6 figures in new donations. Mom and dad thought it was their connections. The first time I brought in a major donor, I was 17. Mrs. Chen, a tech executive who'd never given to our cause before. I'd researched her interests, found she'd lost her sister to the same disease we fought, and wrote her a personal letter. Not a form letter, a real one. She donated $50,000. My mom saw the check and called her friend Margaret to celebrate. Another one of our longtime supporters came through. I was standing right there. At 18, I organized our first youth fundraising drive, reached out to every private school in the state, created a competition with prizes. We raised $127,000 in 3 months. The board meeting minutes credited renewed community outreach efforts. My name wasn't mentioned once. I started keeping records, not because I planned anything, just because I needed proof I existed. Every email I sent to donors, every pitch deck I created, every social media campaign I ran at 2 a.m. because I actually cared about the mission. I saved it all. By 20, I'd personally brought in over $2 million in new donations. The organization's revenue had tripled since I started volunteering. My parents' friends would joke at dinners. "Your parents are so good at this. You must be learning so much from them." I'd smile and nod. Then I applied to law school, got into Yale, my dad's alma mater. Mom threw a party. At the party, someone asked what I'd do with my law degree. Before I could answer, Dad said, "Probably corporate law. Make some real money." I told him months ago I wanted nonprofit law, wanted to help organizations like ours. He hadn't been listening. That's when I decided to apply for the youth ambassador position. It was a paid role, $60,000 a year. More importantly, it came with a board seat, a voice. I submitted my application with a portfolio, 5 years of work, campaigns I'd run, donors I'd cultivated, results I delivered. The interview was scheduled for the monthly board meeting. My parents would be there. So would 8 other board members, including Richard Morrison, the founder. He'd started the charity 30 years ago with my grandfather. The night before, my mom saw me preparing. "What are you doing?" "Interview tomorrow, youth ambassador position." She laughed, not meanly, just surprised. "Oh, honey, that's sweet, but they're looking for someone with real experience." I had 5 years of real experience. She just didn't know it. The interview started normally, professional questions. I answered each one with specific examples, numbers, results. Then Richard leaned back. "Your application is impressive on paper, but let's be honest. You've grown up around this organization. You know how to present well. That doesn't mean you've earned a place here." My mom shifted uncomfortably. Dad was checking his phone. Richard continued, "We need someone who's actually built something, not someone who's just used our name to pad a resume." The room went quiet. A few board members nodded. I didn't argue. I pulled out my folder. Inside were printouts, emails, donor correspondence, campaign analytics, 5 years of documentation. I stood up and started handing them out, one packet to each board member. Page 3, Mrs. Chen's first donation. I wrote that pitch. Page 7, the youth fundraising drive. I organized that. Page 12, the social media campaigns that tripled our online engagement. I created those. I kept going. Every major success they'd celebrated in the last 5 years. Every new donor relationship. Every innovative campaign. My mom's face went white as she flipped through the pages. Dad had stopped checking his phone. Page 42 shows the donor retention rate before I started volunteering, 48%. Page 43 shows last year's rate, 76%. Richard was reading slowly, his expression changing with each page. The organization's revenue was $800,000 annually when I started. Last year it was $3.2 million. Page 51 breaks down exactly which initiatives drove that growth. Every head in the room turned toward me. The founder looked up from the packet, his face unreadable. My dad finally spoke. We didn't know." I met Richard's eyes. "So let me ask again, did I earn a place here, or did I just use your name?"